Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about keeping things really simple in your small business. So this could be kind of geared towards startups or those of you who own a fledgling business, so you're still trying to find your feet a little when it comes to things like cash flow. However, that being said, I started my own business in 2010 and I still use some of the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you, with the exception of the first one, and you'll find out why in just a second. So let's crack on. Okay, so my first two tips kind of tie in together in that they're to do with spending money when you don't necessarily need to. The first thing I want to talk about is shiny object syndrome, and I hold my hands up to this here because I am really guilty of this. I tend to go for all the new courses, the workshops, the masterclasses, anything that has an early bird offer that's promising me something that makes me think, oh, I really want that in my business. I could really do with that. I am so bad. I'm hopeless. And you can guarantee all of these courses that I've bought, the majority of them, I haven't actually finished. And that's because I get distracted by the next new thing. So my first tip for you is really simple. Don't do that. Seriously, only buy courses that you know you're going to see through to the end and implement everything that you've learned. Don't get distracted by all the persuasive jargon that people spout out tempting you to buy unless you really need it. And before you buy, ask yourself, what will you gain from it? What will your business gain from you spending money on this particular course or workshop? I'm really sorry. It's silage season here and there's tractors going up and down the road. So I'm really sorry if you keep hearing rumblings going past. It's not me, it's the tractors, I promise. So yeah, getting back to spending money on workshops, ask yourself if you really need it. What will your business gain from doing this course? And also don't forget to factor in the time. You're going to have to put the hours in to do the course in the first place. Can you really afford the time as well as the money? Just ask yourself, is it really necessary before you buy? So moving on to my second tip. When I first started out, I used to buy the pro version of all these different apps and software because I was intrigued by all the bells and whistles and extra features that were promised if you signed up for the pro accounts, the paid versions, as per my previous point to do with shiny object syndrome. To be honest, I don't really use them or need them. So I was paying for something that, fair enough, was only like $10 or whatever a month, but I just didn't end up using them. So what was the point in paying for it? So this tip is don't pay for the versions of apps and software just because they're there if you don't really need them. Look into all the features that you get with a paid version and ask yourself, would you actually use them? The free versions are fine. In fact, I recommend that you use free accounts as much as possible. Sure, there's going to be limitations, but ask yourself, is it really worth paying for the next level up? In some cases, yep, it is definitely, but the majority will probably be no. So for example, I use Canva a lot. I've been using it for years and I still have a free account. Now I know the pro account is really, really good and I'm not disputing that. And I know it's relatively cheap as well. And I know there's certain things that I can't do in the free version that could be done, that I could do in the pro version, but I find a way to work around that and it suits my purpose just fine. Another example is Microsoft Office. If you're thinking of buying or subscribing to Microsoft Office, ask yourself if you really need it. Or do you already have a free Google account, which would work just as well? Google Docs, Sheets, Slides are just as good as the Microsoft Office apps. In fact, they're probably better because they make it so easy to share with your team or other people, allowing you to collaborate more easily. So just stop and think before you start spending money. So my next tip is regarding your admin processes that you currently have in your business. If you don't have one already, then I would strongly recommend that you create a process manual. So this basically documents step by step how to do different aspects of your admin in your business. Now you might be thinking, well, why would I need one of those? But let me give you an example. Let's say you need to bring someone in to cover for your holiday or sickness. Imagine how much easier it would be for that person to pick up what they need to do straight away if you had a manual already in place. And think of the time it would save you because you wouldn't have to show them step by step what to do. So to create a process manual, just start off by writing down all the admin tasks that you do, how often you do them, how long it takes you to do each one, and finally, how you actually do it. Also, as you're writing down all these tasks, it will make you think about whether you can streamline the processes a bit more. Are there any steps that can be taken out? Do you actually need to do everything that you're saying you do? The process manual can be as straightforward as a Google Doc. for each of the tasks, which can be quickly and easily updated if anything changes. And because it's saved in Google Drive, you know that you're always going to be using the latest version. Remember, keep it simple. So my next tip is to do with spreadsheets. Now, I love spreadsheets because my mug tells me so, and I know that a lot of people don't. And I think that's probably because they think spreadsheets need to be these really long, complicated sheets full of these really long formulas, and really they don't. If you need a spreadsheet telling you how much money you make, then have a spreadsheet that tells you how much money you make. You don't have to have all these all singing, all dancing, interactive, fancy dashboards and everything else if you don't want them. You might not need that. Sure, it looks good and it will give you even more information if you want it. But if you don't want or need that, and all you want at the time is a specific result, then that's all you need in your spreadsheet. Stop overthinking and overcomplicating things, and who knows, you may come to love spreadsheets too. So moving on to my next tip, which is to use templates wherever you can, whether it's Gmail, Google Drive, Microsoft Office, or Canva. Yes, even Canva has business templates that you can use for free. Using templates means it's so much quicker and easier for you to get started on something and just customize it to make it your own. You can even create templates for your emails, which will save you heaps of time. I'm going to link to a few videos in the description where I show you how to use a few of these templates. So make sure to check out those next. If you're still here, thanks so much for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. And you're here for my final tip, which is for those of you who go back and forth all the time with emails, trying to set up a phone call or a meeting with someone, or perhaps you're a consultant or a coach and you're trying to arrange one-to-one work. Use the free version of a scheduling app like Calendly, for example, or one of the other ones out there. It will make things so much easier. You just set up your availability, you get a link to your calendar, and you send that link to people for them to choose a time that suits them. It's simple. I really feel like I've gone on a bit of a rant in this video, and I'm so sorry about that. It's not meant to be. I'm just here to try and help you keep things as simple as possible in your small business. Let me know in the comments which tip you'll be using from now on, if you found any of them helpful, and if you have any of your own that you can add to it. I'd love to know. I promise my next video won't be as ranty. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.